Hello everyone! So today I have a very special car from Changan, and I have to say that I'm really impressed with this Changan, because usually when I take Chinese cars, okay, there's like quite few of them. They're like good cars, very nice cars, you know, just in general, but there's always a factor that always just makes me say there's something weird about the car, or I don't know, sometimes they just copy other brands with a certain part in the car, like from the exterior, interior, anything else. You guys get what I mean. But this time, it's actually the first time that I'm actually really super impressed with a Chinese car, because this is the first Chinese car that when I look at it, it just feels a car that's unique by itself, and it doesn't actually feel like a Chinese car. It feels more towards to the European side. Anyways, let me start and tell you all about it, interior, exterior, performance, how it drives, and finally, the price. Let's start. So whenever you look at the front of the Changan, I mean, guys, like when you look at it, there's nothing wrong about it. It's just perfect. It's nice, it's just really well refined, everything is smooth, and the grille kind of reminds me of the subject that I used to take in university, which is circuits. When you look at the lines of the grille, it looks like a bunch of lines of like a circuit map, or like whatever you guys want to call it. The front lights and the fog lights, they're all LED, even the day running lights. I really love the inserts of gloss black over here, although this is fake, but at the bottom it is actually functional. The paint color, you can get 6 different colors. This one is actually very close to the Nardo gray, but they do call it the putty gray. Let me start with the wheels. Like, they're just so beautiful, 21-inch, they're big, and I do love how just the side looks. I like how the roof just goes back, which they call the sport back roofline basically. But this Changan is not meant to be a big SUV, neither is it meant to be a small SUV. For the small one, there's a Uni-t. They look almost the same thing. It's just the Uni-k is a little bit bigger. For the door handles, it's keyless. I love how they just go out. Even they do this small sound like zzz. It's nice to hear, and you do have this combination of colors between the gloss black and the color of the paint of the car. And you get this cute side vent, which is fake, but it does add a little bit of aesthetics to the car. I like it. The back design, as I said, for the sides and the front, I'm gonna contradict myself. At the beginning of the video, I said that this car did not copy any other model, but somehow I do feel they did a little bit, or maybe not, or maybe it's just a coincidence. It does look a little bit like the Porsche Macan. I mean, when you look at the light bar from the left to the right, it does remind me a little bit of the Macan. It is. But nevertheless, it looks very nice. It's just super amazing at night, especially at night. It looks very nice. It looks like those expensive cars, and it does the job. I mean, it looks nice. And one of the things that really impressed me is the exhaust tips. They're actually real and functional. And I'm actually really impressed on a 4-cylinder SUV, Changan. You get those. There's something weird. I don't want to be harsh on it. I do feel it's a little bit cringe, but they kind of add a little bit of sportiness to the car, so I don't mind them actually. But yeah, they do look a little bit weird. It's just a little bit overdone. The boot is electric, and you get around 518 liters of space. Of course, if you need some more space, you can just fold down the back seats manually, and yeah, and you're good to go. The interior. First of all, I really love the material that they use on the dashboard. You get this soft black material, and you get this beige soft leather, let's say. Now, one of the things that really stands out in the interior is the 2 screens. So the infotainment screen is around 12.1 inch. Very straightforward, straight to the point, very basic to use, although it does feel like a high-end screen, not like those cheap ones. You get all the basics that you need, Apple CarPlay, and also there's a very nice feature called DVR, which is basically you get 4 cameras on the sides, the front, and the back, and you can choose between them, and you can actually take a picture, or if you want to record something, let's say You never know, there is a crime happening, or maybe someone is about to bully you on the road and you want to film that. You can't just hold your phone. So I don't know, these may be the scenarios that could happen with you to use these, or you just want to use them just for the sake of fun. You want to take pictures, and yeah, it is just a very nice feature. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tesla. Now, one of the downsides that I really don't like is to control the climate control with touch buttons. I just hate this. I don't know why. Like, sometimes your hand's a little bit sweaty or dirty and you're driving, you need to focus on the road, and it doesn't work, or maybe the system lags a little bit. It's kind of a little bit hectic somehow, let's say. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh on it. I just prefer when it's like knobs or like buttons for the climate control. It's just way much better to just control it. Now, for the center console, feels very expensive. I love how they just wrapped it with this leather around it. I love how you get this space underneath it. You get some USB inputs, an electric plug, 12 volts. You get two cup holders over here. They're pretty much big. You can switch between the two-wheel drive or the auto drive or the four-wheel drive lock. You get a wireless charger for your phone over here. And you get 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. And also you get a button for the auto hold. And of course, it's an electronic brake. And for the center storage, pretty much very spacious. You can put a lot of stuff, your wallet, some cards, you can even put some bottles inside. And for the cluster screen, it's actually divided into 3 screens. The one on the left shows you the tire pressure and whenever there's a door that's opened or closed. The right one shows you in which drive mode you're in, how many mileage you still have, the temperature of the water, and also the RPM and in which gear you're in. For the middle one, it shows you the speed, whatever the soundtrack you're playing, and it shows you the adaptive cruise control system. For the steering wheel, I don't know how to say it, but there's a few things that I hate when a steering wheel has the top, which is like completely flat, and the bottom, which is completely flat. I don't know, it's just, it doesn't feel right sometimes whenever you turn. At the end of the day, this is an economy car. Okay, I do understand they're trying to add a little bit of sportiness to it, but I feel it's a little bit useless somehow. Just, it looks a little bit weird. But it is nice. It looks fine, let's say. Yeah, it does the job. Yeah. On the right, you can control the volume of the music that you're playing. You can also switch between the options on the cluster screen. And like any other car, whenever you have some people in the back or you can't see properly because you have some objects, big objects in the boot, all you have to do is just press this button over here and it's going to show you a screen on the right. On the left, you can control your adaptive cruise control. I was actually impressed. It's really smooth. It is manual. You can push, pull, and you can't really move it to the top a lot, but you can move it to the bottom a little bit. I just wish they went to the max and made it electronic. I don't know, they look a little bit cheap these days, but it's just pretty much really fine. For the seats, they're all leather. I really love this beige color on them. It does look a little bit fancy, and they're all electric. You can control the movement of the seats, the back, and the lumbar knob that you get over here too. Now, there's something that I was quite impressed with it, which is you get some Sony speakers on the headrest. And why is that? So let's say you're with your like family, or you get your friend in the passenger seat and he's working on something, or he wants to hear or listen to his own music from his headphones, and basically you just don't want to annoy anyone in the car. You do get an option on the infotainment screen. Whenever you select it, all the music sound is only gonna come through the headrest speakers. So yeah, you don't have to annoy anyone in the car. You can just listen to your music peacefully. Back seats, as you can see, I feel pretty much very comfortable over here. It's just really spacious. There's just a lot of space between my knees and the front seats. It feels really nice. And you get 2 AC vents, separated one, and you get 2 USB inputs. You get a small storage over here at the bottom. Now, One of the things that I really like when you pay a little bit of extra money on a car is the huge panoramic roof that you get over here. You get a center armrest over here with 2 cup holders. Of course, this is made of plastic, but I really like that they made the whole armrest made of the same leather that is made on the back seats. So, first things first, you guys want to know the fuel efficiency of this car. When I look at the cluster screen on the long driving information tab, I can see it is written 12.5 liter for each 100 kilometers. Honestly, this number is very, very modest. It's just a very nice number. The gearbox on it is a gearbox from the Japanese company called Aizen. It is an 8-speed automatic gearbox compared to the 6-speed on the other Changan. So this, what makes it a little bit more of a special Changan, basically. It just makes it a little bit more unique and separated from the others. The engine, it's a 2-liter turbo, producing around 230 horsepower and a 390 Newton meter of torque. Honestly, these numbers are not bad at all. It does the job really well. You don't feel congested at any time. The power is always there, like whenever you need it. It's just always there. And there's another good point about it too, is when the gearbox is changing gears, it's just really smooth. It's not aggressive like the other Changans. You know, like I think the only Changan that I took was the Edo Plus, the sedan, and I kind of felt it was a little bit aggressive. It was not super smooth, but this one, it does the job really, really, really well. The braking too is really, really smooth. Noise isolation is a huge thumbs up for the Uni-k. I was going around 120 and 130 on the highway, and I was barely hearing any noises on the windshield or just around me. Even for the suspension, it's neither too smooth, like you don't feel it is kind of sloppy. Nope. You feel that it is a little bit stiff, but on the smooth side, let's say. It's just really well balanced. And like whenever you go into turns, like whenever you take a roundabout, you don't feel that you're going left and right a lot. It's just, it stays put in its place, and it feels really nice. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers in around, let's say, between 9.8 seconds up to 10.2, 10.3 seconds. So it really depends on the weather, depends on the driver. Let me show you a test that I did actually. So finally, the price. It is around 180,000 Emirati dirhams. For me, I do think it's a little bit expensive because we all know, or we all got used that whenever people buy a Chinese car, the main reason is to get the same features, same options, let's say the same coolness or sportiness, or whatever anyone is looking for, or like whatever his goal is, to get it at a lesser price or a cheaper price than the European or the American or the Japanese competitor. But at 180,000 dirhams, it is, in my opinion, a little bit expensive. I just wish if they decreased the price a little bit just to make more sense. I don't know. Maybe Changan is just aiming for that price for now. Maybe they're gonna decrease it in the future if the demand is low. Although I don't think so, the demand is low. I've been seeing a lot of these cars on the road these days, and they are actually selling a lot of cars. So would I buy this car? Yes, I would buy this car, although I'm not a big fan of Chinese cars. It's not that I hate them, it's just that I had a very bad experience with them in the past, like really, really, really back in the days when Chinese cars were not like today. But I would actually consider this one. It stands out from the crowd. It stands out from the other Chinese cars. It is just a very nice car to look at, to drive. It is actually impressive. The only downside for me is just the price. Yep, that's it. Let me know your opinions, guys. Would you buy this car, or for the same price, what would you buy from the European or the American or the Japanese competitor? And yeah, let me know your opinions down in the comments, guys. And see you on the next one. Peace.